The upper level winds are pushing Aaron away from North Carolina. Still some impacts along the Outer Banks. We'll talk about that and what we'll see here today as well.
Aaron's impacts right now, areas on the Outer Banks dealing with flooding and high waves. Our team is on the ground tracking the conditions minute by minute.
And police cruiser ramming. A man accused of deliberately crashing a pickup truck into a Raleigh police car is due in court today. The lengths officers had to go to arrest him. Hurricane Aaron is starting to pull off the North Carolina coast this morning. The Outer Banks, though, still feeling that wind and seeing some flooding. Thank you for joining us. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Destiny Patterson. Of course, we have a lot to get to. This is a live look at Topsail Beach. New from NCDOT, State Highway 12 is still closed this morning as overwash covers large sections of road. And in the last 30 minutes, North Carolina Emergency Management has provided a crisis cleanup hotline for people impacted by the storm. That number, take a look, it's on your screen right now.
We have team coverage today as we follow the storm and conditions on the coast. Let's get to Elizabeth Gardner with the new information from the 8 a.m. advisory.
And the newest information is the distance from Cape Hatteras to the center of the storm. Early this morning in the 5 o'clock advisory, it was about 205 miles per hour. Now it's 210. So it's not, racing away from us, but definitely moving off to the north and east. So it's made its closest path to North Carolina, and it is slowly pulling off. Moving to the northeast at about 17 miles per hour. With winds at 105, and of course that would make it a Category 2 storm. It will remain Category 2 into tomorrow and then gradually weakening and dissipating into the weekend. We still have some gusty winds, especially right here at Hatteras, winds gusting to 34 and up around Nags Head gusting to around 43. So just barely tropical storm force winds along the coast. We'll also have some gusty winds here, but only 15 to 20 miles per hour, which won't be enough to do any damage, but you'll just notice it feels a little breezy. Starting to see the clouds break up a little bit this morning here at RDU. A little sunshine peeking through. 73 is our current temperature. We'll see a cold front approaching. That's the front that's going to help to push Aaron away. It'll bring us just a small chance of a shower or thunderstorm, about 20%. We'll see a nice mild afternoon with highs in the mid 80s. We'll stay dry into the weekend, and then we'll track another front that could bring us a nice treat next week. We'll check that out coming up.
Elizabeth, good morning. Right now here in the WRAL Traffic Center, we do have an update on a few crashes that we've been telling you about all morning. First, this very serious crash near Zebulon that we've been telling you about on Highway 64. The good news we heard from the DOT, and this is in the clearing stages. However, you can still see a lot of red on the map here, so a lot of lingering effects from this crash that happened earlier this morning with the Zebulon Fire Department on the scene right now. Overall drive times heading into the capital city right now, beginning to see a little bit of buildup. 11 minutes from Wake Forest, 6 minutes from Knightdale, and when you take a look here, coming from Apex, about 9 minutes. Over in the Bull City, we saw better conditions if you're traveling from Durham. However, right now you can see just 2-minute delay coming from Infinity Road. So if you're heading out on the roads, be sure to tune us in on the radio at 101.5 HD3.
People on the Outer Banks are feeling the impacts this morning from Aaron. WRAL Sean Gallagher is live at Nags Head this morning. And Sean, even with Aaron pulling off from the North Carolina coast, I can see it's still very breezy from your jacket.
Yeah, the winds remain steady all morning, really. We're getting gusts that are kind of pushing us back a little bit, but for the most part, that's not going to cause any of the damage that people should be concerned about. It's the flooding potential that could happen, and that's what we're talking about right here behind us on the southern parts of the island. They closed down this part of Highway 12 at the Bass Knife Bridge here at the Oregon Inlet around 6:30 last night because they said Hurricane Aaron's storm surge was too much for Highway 12. To get an idea of what that looks like, take a look at these photos from yesterday. You can get a clear sense of what that too much looks like. High waves pushing feet of water over some roads, including Highway 12, leaving a lot of sand behind and also pummeling those vulnerable homes and businesses right on the ocean front. Longtime Outer Banks residents point out towns like Buxton are especially exposed during storms like this because so much of the beach and sand dunes have been lost over the past several years, which makes it a lot easier for storm surge to push through into town. And for the volunteer rescue teams who've weathered these storms for decades now, it poses unique difficulties.
I don't ever remember anything like this. So if this storm was, say, coming through and it was going to enter below us and come up the Pamlico Sound, we could tell you what it was going to do. If this storm was going to, maybe brush us on the ocean side, maybe we could tell you. But with this wave intensity and these wave heights, all we can do is just prepare for the worst and hope for the best.
And we're getting our first idea of what those high tides did this morning. NCDOT saying there are areas in Buxton and Hatteras that had major overwash, so this will likely be in place for some time. In that post that we saw online, they said they're not unsure when Highway 12 will be opened up, but you can see they've got the barricades here. They've got a law enforcement vehicle here as well. So for the time being, no one will be able to get from this point south onto Hatteras Island. But for now, in Nags Head, Sean Gallagher, WRAL News.
You know where Sean is right there? Right here, we see the NCDOT NC12 post kind of giving a breakdown of some of the impacts that we're seeing overnight. For example, it says Kitty Hawk, no issues, minor blown sand roadway is passable. But then it says Buxton North End, overwash occurred most of last night and during this morning tide. They also have some photos along the post, so you can kind of see a little bit of what it looks like from their perspective, showing images of the of what the conditions are out there. And this is just, again, one perspective that we have seen from the areas that are along NC12. Sean Gallagher will join us again in a little bit to show more of it. And as more images come into the WRAL newsroom, we'll report it here in the WRAL Live Center.
Evacuation orders are in effect for people on Hatteras and Ocracoke. Authorities spent days urging people to leave the area ahead of flooding. The county manager now says there may not be enough resources for people choosing to stay behind.
They're not going to be able to get out and move around to get their medicine or their food or their water, and so hopefully they've prepared for all that. If they haven't prepared for that, then we're not going to be able to help them until the water clears, hopefully sometime on Friday.
While evacuation orders are in effect for Ocracoke and Hatteras, Dare County wants people along Oregon Inlet to also remain on alert. Count on WRAL for team coverage of Hurricane Erin and its impacts. Our meteorologists are tracking every moment of this storm, and we have crews up and down the coast.
As we track this hurricane, North Carolina is still struggling to pay the bills from the last major storm. The state is waiting for more than $200 million in FEMA reimbursements for Hurricane Helene. We reported last night that about $83 million was released yesterday, the majority of it still delayed. Governor Josh Stein says that the delay in FEMA funding has been a strain on state and local governments. He says they have the resources they need to respond to Hurricane Erin, but the state may need more help with recovery.
We will continue to work with our federal partners to make sure that the reimbursements are processed as quickly as possible, and then we'll have to wait and see what the impacts are for Hurricane Erin to see whether we need federal assistance as it relates to this storm.
Stein says FEMA teams are already on the ground in eastern North Carolina, working closely with state emergency responders as the storm brushes past our coast.
Happening today, the man accused of ramming his car into a Raleigh police car is expected to appear in court. The moment of that crash caught on dash camera. Take a look. The pickup truck drove head-on into the police cruiser Saturday night on Thistlebrook Court. The suspect that you're looking at now, Elmer Caldera, was arrested yesterday after a standoff with police. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live this morning at the Wake County Courthouse in Raleigh. Kelsey, it took hours for officers to get Candela in handcuffs yesterday.
Yes, Destiny, it did. Elma Bautista Candela is scheduled to be in court here at the Wake County Justice Center a little bit later today. Our cameras were there when he was at the magistrate's office late last night after being arrested. He's accused of ramming a pickup truck into a police car last weekend, which led to a chase. You can see that moment captured in this dash cam video. Yesterday, police tried to arrest Candela in connection to a car break-in. They say he fled the scene in a stolen car and crashed it before he ran to a home on Bashford Road. Sky 5 video shows RPD trying to get him out of the house. Raleigh police say Candela has several other active warrants for crimes like assault and attempted larceny. Candela is due in court this afternoon at 1:30, so we'll be sure to have a crew here and keep you updated on what comes out of this. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, I'm in Raleigh.
Thanks, Kelsey. A sinkhole shut down part of Newton Grove Highway in Sampson County overnight. This is video from the WRAL breaking news tracker from around 10 last night. Crews were out trying to make repairs near the intersection of Wire Branch Road. That's just outside of Spivey's Corner. We're working to find out how long it'll take to fix that road.
A utility services provider is eliminating dozens of jobs in Franklin County after losing a major customer. NNS Locating Services told state officials that it is laying off 126 of its North Carolina employees next month. Those employees report to the company's office in Youngsville. The layoffs come after the company lost a contract with internet service provider Brightspeed. Brightspeed declined to comment on the contract. NNS has not responded to our request for more information, including questions about how many employees would remain in North Carolina. You can read more about these layoffs at WRAL.com.
And we're watching Aaron taking that turn away from North Carolina. We'll show you what the conditions will be like as we get through the day today here and on the Outer Banks.
And those conditions starting to improve. Coastal communities experienced some of the worst impacts earlier this morning. We will speak with Wrightsville Beach officials about how they're responding as the storm moves away.
Riding out the storm, some people are staying put. We'll tell you how some are trying to protect their livelihoods from the floods.
And here's a look at your winning Powerball numbers: 31, 59, 62, 65, 68. The Powerball is 5. The multiplier is 2. No jackpot winner last night, so the jackpot grows to $700 million.
It's 8:14 and around our area. We're seeing a good bit of cloud cover, but the clouds are beginning to thin in some places, like Wilson. A little bit of blue sky trying to peek through. We will see breezy conditions today. The whirligigs have been whirling around a little bit this morning. 76 is the temperature in Wilson. Fairly gray in Durham at 73, and a little sun trying to peek through there in Fayetteville at 75 degrees. Of course, Aaron has started to pull away from the coast of North Carolina. It's on its way out to the north and east at about 17 miles per hour. It is still a Category 2 storm, but all the rain bands are offshore now, and gradually we should see some of the storm surge flooding receding as we get through the day today. We'll see a cold front approaching us from the west this afternoon, bringing a small chance for showers and storms, and it'll be a little breezy today too. Northwest winds steady right now at around 5 to 10, and we'll see gusts this afternoon up to 20 miles per hour.
Well, happening now here in the WRAL Traffic Center, we're going to give you an update on some incidents that we've been reporting on this morning. First, I want to give a reminder to folks traveling on Tryon Road. There is a road closure because of that water main that happened on Sunday. This is a week-long closure, we're told. We know many people take this road in this area. The detour is to take left onto Avon Ferry Road. That's going to take you to Lake Dam Road and then back around on Tryon Road. So, of course, just be mindful of that. Overall, an update on that crash near Zebulon on Highway 64, the westbound lanes. We know that this is in the clearing stages, so that's good news for people in the area. Still seeing some lingering effects from this incident, however. Be sure to tune us in on the radio at 101.5 HD3.
Time is 8:15 here on the WRAL Live Center. I got to show you this image. This is from our reporter Heidi Kirk there at the coast. You see this right here? This is from Wrightsville Beach. And Heidi says this just shows you the erosion that's happening at the beach there. This is just one perspective that we're seeing for this image. Let me show you the second one. It's a little closer so you can see the drastic difference between the higher part of that sand and then below there and what the water has caused in terms of erosion. We're going to hear from Heidi Kirk in a little bit, about 9 o'clock, to talk a little bit about what she is seeing along the coast. She won't be in Wrightsville Beach necessarily, but she will be driving so you can see the other impacts from Hurricane Aaron.
Well, Chris, we are going to stick with Wrightsville Beach and check in on that coastal community that faced high waters, rip currents, and gusty winds from Aaron. On the phone, we have Sam Proffitt joining us now from Wrightsville Beach Ocean Rescue this morning. Sam, good to see you, and thank you so much for joining us. Good morning to you. Hopefully it's a calmer morning there at Wrightsville Beach. What are conditions like right now?
Yeah, I mean, conditions are still pretty dangerous out there. So we still have about a 4 to 5 foot swell coming in. We still have massive rip currents that are very strong. So the swimmer advisory or ordinance is still in effect. It will stay in effect until tomorrow. So the messaging is the same, right? Please, if you come to the beach, stay out of the ocean.
Yeah, stay out of the water, but we know in the days leading up to Aaron, your team was busy. The Wrightsville Beach had dozens of water rescues happening on Monday and Tuesday. Talk about that and what that's like for your team.
Yeah, so Monday we had approximately 60 rescues. On Tuesday, we had 18, and yesterday we fortunately only had 4. Yeah, I mean, the rescues are, they are very intense. Like I said, we have some big swell coming in. It's dangerous conditions, but this is what the Guards train for, right? I mean, this is the job they do. They're prepared for it. So again, we do ask if you could help us out. We appreciate it, and the best thing to do is, like I said, to stay out of the ocean.
You said the surf is still very dangerous. When you might think the double red flags will come down?
So the swim ordinance expires tomorrow. I would predict that we are going to be flying red flags Saturday. I think Sunday we might reevaluate it, maybe drop down to yellow. But again, always check these conditions. Just because we are flying yellow flags, rip current can still occur at any time, at any location. So, you come out to the beach, always swim to your lifeguard stand when a lifeguard is on duty.
And Sam, we know this is a busy week for Wrightsville Beach. I mean, this is one of the last weeks of summer vacation. A lot of school districts will start school next week. So this weekend, a lot of folks will be there. What's your message of safety for folks who come to Wrightsville Beach?
Yeah, so here at Wrightsville, we'll be obviously fully staffed throughout the holiday weekend. But please, never come out on the beach and go in the ocean before the lifeguards come on duty, which is 10 a.m., and never once they leave for the day, which is 5 p.m. And when you come out to the beach, please make note of the flag color. Like I said, if we're flying red, it's very dangerous. Stay out of the ocean. Yellow, use caution. But again, always be near that lifeguard stand. The other thing I will add is that, we are expecting some afternoon storms. Please keep a note on the lightning. Lightning's very dangerous. If it's within 10 miles, the lifeguards will be leaving the beach. So if you see a lifeguard leaving a lifeguard stand, there's no flag flying, it's some type of dangerous condition.
Sam Prophet with Wrightsville Beach Ocean Rescue. Thank you for your insight and your message of safety. And thank you to you and your crews for all that you're doing to keep people safe at Wrightsville Beach. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Thanks.
The owners of a motel on the Outer Banks are choosing to ride out the storm and protect their livelihood. WRAL's Ali Caldabar joins us live now. Ali, those high waters are making it difficult to keep their business safe.
Yes, Destiny. And within the past 10 minutes, I've seen that Dare County actually posted that there's a major overwash in the Hatteras Village area. So just more impacts that they're seeing. But we want to take you back to, they've been experiencing this for the past 24 hours, if not longer. This is video from a Facebook Live that they did yesterday evening. You can see those rushing waves under the stilts. The wind even making it hard to keep the camera still. Melinda Meadows tells us what she's worried will cause more damage this morning.
I mean, we had a lot of sand in the parking lot and things like that. But as the sand keeps coming in, the water has nowhere else to go. I mean, it's building up underneath the buildings. So it literally, it has nowhere to go, and that's what's causing the damage.
They are expecting to see more damage this morning. We are checking in with them, and we are going to keep you updated. Reporting in Raleigh, Ali Caldabar, WRAL News.
So we just heard from Sam Prophet with Wrightsville Beach Ocean Rescue. And Elizabeth, he was saying that they might be seeing some afternoon storms today. Is this from some other front, or is this just the storm pulling away?
There's a lot of moisture in the atmosphere close to the beach, and almost every afternoon along the coast they do see showers and thunderstorms unless there's a high pressure system that's built in. So I think it's just going to be the normal afternoon and evening storms that develop along what we call the sea breeze front. But good news that, there wasn't a lot of impact down along our southern coast. If you wanted to head there for the weekend, you just need to watch out for the rip current danger. Unfortunate to hear that they're still having some overwash there at Cape Hatteras. The storm has started to pull away. You can see the rain bands well offshore. The center of circulation is about 210 miles offshore right now. This is the latest advisory, just came in a few minutes ago. Moving northeast at 17 miles per hour, so it is gradually pulling away. Still a Category 2 storm, though. It's a huge storm. You can see these rain bands sitting offshore, but of course we're still having that storm push some water on shore up around Cape Hatteras, it looks like. So they're dealing with that. The wind, not so bad. The wind has begun to weaken just a little bit over the morning. Winds gusting up to 34 miles per hour at Cape Hatteras and around 36 miles per hour up around Nags Head and around Manio. So that's going to keep it just below tropical storm force. Of course, the storm will continue to move off to the north and east, and we should see some gradually improving conditions along the Outer Banks. We're not going to see really any impact impact from Aaron today. Notice, though, 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, a couple of sprinkles pop up. A cold front back to the west may help to bring us some of that later on today. So through the weekend, here's what we're looking at. More impacts along the coast, especially along the Outer Banks. They're going to be trying to clean up, especially around Hatteras. I'm trying to get Highway 12 open. You shouldn't go to the Outer Banks over the weekend, but you can go to the southern beaches, especially the Wilmington area beaches. They should be fine. We'll see a few isolated showers here today and tomorrow, and the weekend looks good for us. Highs will be in the mid-80s. There's another storm system that is going to be moving in behind Aaron, and that one has a 70% chance of developing. But notice how that red path does not lead to the United States. Our cold front coming in today and another one on Sunday will help to keep that storm system out of the area. Taking a look at our 7-day forecast, we're looking, of course, at some 80s for this week.
Good morning here in the WRAL Traffic Center. We wanted to share an update on this emergency road closure that we've been reporting on all week on Tryon Road. We have photographer Charles Bradley actually on the route right now where you would have to take that detour. So if you're traveling on Tryon Road, you'll have to turn onto Avent Ferry Road. That's going to take you to Lake Dam Trail and get around this. Of course, this is because of that water main break with crews working on the scene. We have more news, weather, and traffic coming up after the break.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
It's 8:26. I'm Destiny Patterson. Of course, we've been tracking Hurricane Aaron along the coast, but here locally, Elizabeth, our impacts will be pretty minimal.
And we're looking at some cloudy skies right now. We'll start here with a look at Apex. We're seeing sunshine trying to break out in a few places, but it's been a fairly gray start. Aaron continues to move away from us. It's moving northeast 17 miles per hour. So we should have some gradual improvement in our situation along the Outer Banks as we get through the day today. Our cold front moves in from the west today, bringing us a small chance for showers and thunderstorms. It will be a little breezy. Right now, our winds are steady at about 5 to 10 out of the northwest, and we'll see some gusts this afternoon up to 20 miles per hour. Laura?
Here in the WRAL Traffic Center, taking a live look at I-440 at New Bern Avenue. We're seeing traffic moving at a slow and steady pace. Overall, we were monitoring a crash near Zebulon on Highway 64. That crash is in the clearing stages. You can see, though, still some lingering impacts from this incident. Overall, drive times heading into the capital city. You can see we're seeing a little bit of delays, especially if you're traveling from Wake Forest and Knightdale, 17 minutes. Be sure to tune us in on the radio to get all of these updates and more on 101.5 HD3.
People in the Outer Banks are feeling the impacts of high winds and waves as Hurricane Aaron moves up the Atlantic. Video and images from Buxton give us a look at some of the intense flooding the area has been hit with. Evacuation orders were put in place for Hatteras and Ocracoke ahead of the storm. A man is due in court today after he was accused of ramming a pickup truck into a Raleigh police car. Elmer Candela was arrested in connection to a car break-in yesterday. Police say that he fled the scene in a stolen car and crashed it before hiding in a home. Candela is scheduled to be in court this afternoon at 1:30. Next on Fox 50, an Outer Banks business owner is riding out the storm. We have that coming up today.
Hurricane Aaron is slowly starting to pull away from our coast. I'll show you how fast it will move and how long it may be before we see some relief along the Outer Banks.
Close eye on the coast. We are monitoring conditions along the Outer Banks as Aaron makes its way north. This is a live look from Nags Head, and we'll take a look at the impacts of the storm.
You don't want to just leave everything unattended, but all at the same time, you've got to worry about safety as well.
Staying in place, a couple stays on the Outer Banks to watch over their hotel. The damage they're already seeing this morning.
And Raleigh ramming suspect, a man accused of hitting a police cruiser and hurting the officer inside. The new charges Raleigh police have shared within the last 5 minutes as he is headed to court. We'll get you up to speed on what you need to know this morning on Fox 50. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Destiny Patterson. Let's get right to the latest updates on Hurricane Aaron. New information from the National Hurricane Center in the last 30 minutes. Aaron is moving away from land, now 210 miles from Cape Hatteras. Wind gusts are up to 40 miles an hour on shore. The biggest risks this morning are flooding and rip currents along the coast.
This morning, we have team coverage as the storm passes our state and makes that right-hand turn. We start with meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center.
That turn happened earlier this morning. Northeast wind, it's moving to the northeast at about 17 miles per hour. And you can almost see, it looks like something is pushing that storm. And certainly it is. We have a front that's going to be pushing that storm away from us as we get through the day today. Most of the rain bands are offshore. We're seeing the winds begin to diminish, but there's still a lot of flooding that's happening, especially around the Cape Hatteras area this morning. And it may be a while for that storm to move away before we start to see that flooding recede. Winds right now, 105 miles per hour. Canada is 210 miles away from Cape Hatteras, the center of circulation is. It may remain Category 2 for the rest of the day today, but it pulls away from the United States. It's not likely to have major impacts up to the north, maybe some rip current danger all the way up into Canada. And the rip current danger will continue through the weekend along the coast of North Carolina from south all the way up to the north. Winds are looking a little better than they were earlier. We had winds gusting about 40-45 miles per hour earlier. Right now around Hatteras, 34 mile per hour gusts, and it's 38 up along the Outer Banks closer to Nags Head. The storm will continue to gradually pull away. Again, the rain has ended. Rain has not been a big deal here. It's all really been the storm surge, and that should ease up as we get through the day. Around here, we'll have some gusty winds at about 15 to 20 miles per hour through the afternoon. Right now, we have cloudy skies here at RDU. 73 is our current temperature. A cold front could bring a few isolated showers later on today, but some sunshine should peek through, and we'll see highs in the mid-80s. Laura?
Taking you out to the roads on your Friday Eve, we wanted to give you an update on this emergency road closure that we've been reporting on all week long on Tryon Road. Crews are working to fix a water main break. Let's get straight to photographer Charles Bradley, who's actually on that detour route that you will need to take if you're traveling in this area. So you travel on Tryon Road and turn left on the Avent Ferry Road. That's going to take you to Lake Dam Trail to help get you around this intersection. We know that Athens Drive High School, they return back to school on Monday, and this is the route that they're going to have to take. So be mindful of that. Now I want to take you to this crash that we've been following in Zebulon near Highway 64. You can see that the crash is cleared and we're no longer seeing any major backups or delays in this area near Arundel Avenue. So that is good news if you're heading out on the roads, especially traveling from Zebulon. Drive times this morning, traveling to the capital city, we're seeing a 13-minute delay from Knightdale. And in Durham right now, we're seeing better conditions in Durham. Very little to no delays at this time heading into the Bull City. Be sure to tune us in on the radio at 101.5 HD3.
We're bringing you here into the WRAL Live Center. I got to show you this before and after image that we have here. Donnie Bowers is out there in Buxton, and on the left, this is an image that he sent our news team yesterday, and then the one on the right is what it looks like this morning. Do you see the aftermath there, right? Yes, the water receded in certain parts there, but it left debris behind, and it just shows you the significant difference between, really under 12 hours. Now I want to show you video from Donnie, and he's showing us a perspective there where you can see the waves coming in, the rocking chair, and then there's another clip that he sent as well where you can see the waves from a different perspective and something clearly there in the water. Sean Gallagher has been following some of the effects out on the coast right now, and he's showing us a little bit of the impacts that he is seeing there next to NC-12, Sean.
Yeah, Chris, the winds are really picking up right now. The gusts have been a lot stronger than they've been all morning long, as you can probably hear and see. But the winds, as strong as they might feel right now, really aren't the issue. It is that storm surge. That's why they've closed Highway 12 here at the Bass Knight Bridge in the Oregon Inlet here, because DOT officials said that the storm surge just too much for Highway 12. And that's following scenes like this from yesterday in the Buxton area, where you can get a clear idea what the DOT means when they say too much. High waves pushing feet of water over the roads, leaving plenty of sand behind, also pummeling those vulnerable homes and businesses right on the waterfront. Longtime Outer Banks residents point out towns like Buxton are especially exposed during storms like this because much of the beach and sand dunes have been lost over the past several years, and that makes it a lot easier for the storm surge to push through into town.
It was washing through all the parking lots, through the motels, through the houses. I saw a bunch of, debris like, pieces of treated wood and boardwalks and things like that, in the wash. And it was washing basically from the ocean side, probably a good 300 yards in.
And we're hearing reports about the overwash in those southern towns just behind us, where there is a major overwash on a lot of roads, both in the towns and also Highway 12. That's why you'll still see this here behind me. DOT says they're unsure when they'll be able to take these signs down so people can start getting down there and, more importantly, out of there as well. But for now, NAG's head Sean Gallagher, WRAL News.
Dare County authorities spent days urging people to leave the area ahead of flooding. The county manager now says there might not be enough resources for people who chose to stay behind.
This is a water event, not a rain event. The roads are going to be closed. There's going to be no ability for our EMS folks to get out. There's going to be no ability for our fire trucks to get out. And so those people need to be prepared for all of that.
While evacuation orders are in effect for Ocracoke and Hatteras, Dare County wants people along Oregon Inlet to stay alert.
Teams from Wake County are preparing to respond to any emergencies that may arise along the coast. These are pictures of the Wake Forest and Nightdale Swiftwater rescue teams. They're working on equipment at a staging area in Plymouth. Their main focus has been on ensuring everything works and getting familiar with the area until rescues are needed. NCDOT gave an update on efforts to get crews ready for Aaron. The agency has hundreds of chainsaws, trucks, and backhoes on standby. All equipment and vehicles were tested and gassed up before the storm. High water signs and barricades are already up along the coast in places that are prone to flooding. Count on WRAL for team coverage of Hurricane Aaron. Our team of meteorologists is tracking every movement of this storm. In addition to Sean Gallagher, Eric Miller, and Heidi Kirk are out at the coast. They will bring us live reports throughout the day today. The interactive hurricane tracker on the WRAL weather app allows you to see a storm's past, present, and future. You can watch that to see where the worst is likely to hit so that you can stay safe.
New in the last 10 minutes, Raleigh police say 21-year-old Elmer Batista Candela is facing new charges. This comes ahead of his first court appearance expected this afternoon. He's accused of ramming a stolen car into an RPD cruiser and injuring an officer over the weekend. You can see the scene unfold here on this dash cam video here. And police say that he was able to escape that scene until his arrest yesterday. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live this morning at the Wake County Courthouse in Raleigh. Kelsey, it took hours for officers to be able to get him in handcuffs.
Yes, Destiny, it did. And new in the last 10 minutes, we just heard from Raleigh police. Elma Batista Candela is facing almost a dozen charges this morning. He's scheduled to appear in court here at the Wake County Justice Center a little bit later today. Our cameras were there when he was at the magistrate's office late last night after being arrested. He's accused of ramming a pickup truck into a police car last weekend, which led to a chase. You can see that moment captured in this dash cam video. Yesterday, police tried to arrest Candela in connection to a car break-in. They say he fled the scene in a stolen car and crashed it before he ran to a home on Bashford Road. Sky 5 video shows RPD trying to get him out of the house. Raleigh police say Candela has several other active warrants for crimes like assault and attempted larceny. Candela is due in court this afternoon at 1:30, so we'll be sure to have a crew here to keep you updated on what comes out of this. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, I'm in Raleigh.
This morning, we're getting a new look at this powerful gas line explosion in Wilmington. This dash cam video shows Tuesday's flames erupting there and just debris coming down. 4 firefighters were injured by this explosion. One of them had 2nd and 3rd degree burns on his hands and arms, and he received skin grafts yesterday afternoon. 46-year-old Jason Beach of Wilmington is charged in this case. He is in jail on a $1 million bond.
AI in the classroom. This cutting-edge tech is forcing educators to rethink how they teach. 5 on your side's Keely Arthur gives us a closer look at how some schools are embracing it.
I'm anxious. I'm very anxious. To tell you I'm not scared would be a lie.
Riding out the storm. Some families are choosing to stay at the Carolina coast as Aaron passes this morning. How one motel owner is holding down the fort.
Now you're taking a live look at Wrightsville Beach as we continue to track Hurricane Erin. The worst impacts happening on the Outer Banks this morning. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner explains just how strong those winds and those waves are on our coast.
.844, beginning to see the clouds break up a little bit here in Wilson, and the whirligigs are really spinning. We're going to have a gusty afternoon. We're going to see winds gusting out of the northwest about 15 to 20 miles per hour. So starting to pick up winds a little bit there in Wilson, 77, 73 in Durham, and Fayetteville. Fayetteville 76. Fayetteville looks like we're trying to see the clouds break up a little bit, but Durham looks pretty cloudy. We'll continue to see Hurricane Erin moving away from us at 17 miles per hour. Gradually, we'll see a decrease in the flooding along the Outer Banks. Already the winds have started to die down a little bit, but it'll be a while, of course, before they completely recover. Cold front swings in later today, bringing us a small chance for thunderstorms. And we do have some gusty winds, gusting to 16 in Goldsboro. Our winds are steady out of the northwest right now, and we'll gust this afternoon. Again, 15 to 20 miles per hour with highs in the mid-80s. Laura?
Here in the WRAL Traffic Center, I wanted to show you this look at New Bern Avenue. We had a few fender bender incidents in that area, so that's why we saw some buildup here. But now we're monitoring a crash on 401 and Lewisburg Road near Forestville Road. You can see a little bit of yellow on the map from this crash, but take a look at this. There's another crash not too far away that is causing some major backups and delays here on US 401. This is Lewisburg Road, the westbound lane near Perry Creek Road. You can see just how close in proximity the two crashes are. So we're going to continue to monitor this in the WRAL Traffic Center. Be sure to tune us in at 101.5 HD3.
As Hurricane Erin passes by our coast, the property manager of Cape Hatteras Motel and his wife are among the people staying behind, and they're watching as the storm passes by. WRAL's Allie Calabar joins us live this morning. And Allie, overnight they've seen walls knocked out and barriers washed away.
Yes, Renee, and over the past 30 minutes, Dare County even shared that there's major overwash that people are having to deal with, so they're waking up to that as well. We want to take you back to over the past 24 hours, what they've been experiencing. This is video from a Facebook Live that they did yesterday evening. You can see the rushing waves under the stilts. Now, Melinda Meadows tells us they've worked hard to manage this property for the past 3 years, and now it's heartbreaking to see the damage that it's already done.
I have got walls that have been knocked out, like in our maintenance, our storage shed and things like that. I have got all kinds of debris. We've had a door that was ripped off of one of our townhouses. So, and it's the force behind the water is what it is.
The force behind the water. We are checking in with them this morning to see what other damage they may be experiencing. We're going to keep you updated. Reporting in Raleigh, Allie Calabar, WRAL News.
From helping students learn to raising new concerns about cheating and bias, AI is forcing educators to rethink how they teach. This morning, 5 on Your Side's Keely Arthur is taking a closer look at how school districts are embracing AI.
In addition to kids, AI is returning to the classroom. 5 on Your Side and WRAL Education Insider checked with 26 school districts in our viewing area.
Of those, 17 have a written policy on AI use in the classroom. For example, Chapel Hill Carborough City Schools outlines plans to integrate the technology and train teachers to use it to improve educational outcomes. Wayne County Public Schools didn't respond to our request, and 8 districts, including Wake County, don't yet have a policy. Although Wake is currently in the process of adopting one, and teachers there say they're already using it.
I have allowed my students to use it. Some students use it as like a way to work backwards in the classroom. So sometimes it's not always just that they cheat. They use it. Some kids, like me as a student, I like to know the answer and then figure out how I got there. Right. So sometimes it's a good thing, but I do understand the struggle with making sure that students are using it appropriately.
Tonight on WRAL News at 6, I'm going to break down the good and bad of having AI in the classroom. And we're going to find out if it really does lead to better student success rates. Keely Arthur, 5 on Your Side.
The cast of Dawson's Creek is reuniting for a good cause, and a bear caught looking for a summer treat.
Let's take a look now at what's trending. First, the cast of Dawson's Creek is taking us back to the beginning for charity. James Vanderbeek, Katie Holmes, and others will be doing a live script reading of the pilot episode of the hit series. The event on September 22nd will help benefit a nonprofit fighting cancer. Last year, Vanderbeek announced that he was battling stage 3 colorectal cancer. And so really awesome to see his former castmates just coming together for him in support of him and raising money for cancer.
That's right. And I do think that people love a good reunion, so people always buy into that kind of thing. Deputies in California stumbled upon a furry suspect when responding to a break-in over the weekend. This is a picture of a bear sitting behind the counter at a Lake Tahoe ice cream shop. Deputies say strawberry appeared to be his favorite flavor, and the bear left without leaving much damage behind.
A very courteous bear after tasting that ice cream. This wasn't the first time a bear has eaten some ice cream there at that shop. A few months ago, a different bear made off with a mint chocolate chip cookie dough from a different ice cream parlor.
At this point, they might as well just leave some out. So they're not breaking in.
Exactly. Have the bears enjoy the treat. Let's get to Chris Lovingood in the WRAL Live Center with an update.
Renee and Destiny, I got to show you this video right here. This is from Hatteras Village, and we got into our newsroom, within the past 10 minutes or so. And you'll see right here, plenty of flooding that's happening. The streets flooded there, sidewalks as well. And this is just, of course, one area that's contending with the effects of Hurricane Erin. We have had our team along the coast getting more of the first-hand perspective of what's happening. And Heidi Kirk will be joining us at 9 o'clock on Fox 50, showing what she is seeing as she's driving all along the coast.
Thanks, Chris. And of course, I know that you'll continue to monitor what goes on along the coast. And Elizabeth, you're continuing to track how it's going to impact the coast. But of course, here, we're not going to see too many impacts.
Yeah, we've been pretty fortunate here because the storm didn't make landfall. A lot of times, these storms affect North Carolina, making landfall or, even making landfall somewhere else and just bringing us a lot of heavy rain and a lot of flooding inland. But of course, this one stayed at the center of circulation anyway, 200 miles off the coast, and it continues to now move away. It started that northeasterly turn just a little while ago. So this is a look at where some of the rain bands are. Those are all off the coast. We really weren't expecting this to be a rain event, at most 1 to 2 inches. The big flooding problem, of course, has been the storm surge. We're still seeing some overwash happening, mainly around Cape Hatteras. Last night, we also had some around Beaufort, around the Morehead City area. Those beaches had some overwash as well. So we're looking at the storm, the center at about 210 miles east of Cape Hatteras right now, moving northeast at 17 with winds at 105, which makes it a Category 2 storm. So still a really strong storm, but thankfully it's moving away. You can see the progress it makes. This is 2 p.m. this afternoon. This is 2 a.m. tomorrow morning. So moves out of here pretty quickly. We, of course, expect it to weaken as it moves into the North Atlantic, and it's not likely to make landfall anywhere, not in the northeastern part of the U.S. or even in Canada. We still have the wind field, that tropical storm force wind field affecting the Outer Banks, at least for a little while longer. The wind gust right now, Nags Head and Hatteras are at about 43 miles per hour. That makes it low-end tropical storm force. The biggest issue, of course, has been the flooding, that storm surge flooding. All of these little circles that you see were some flooding that happened, some of that 2 to 3 feet of storm surge happening around Cape Hatteras. This is a look at dual Doppler 5000 radar. Actually, a tiny little shower popped up just north of Henderson. It has fizzled out. But we do have the chance of just a few isolated showers for today, a 20% chance. We're looking at gray skies right now here at RDU. 73, our temperature. We're a little gusty already in Goldsboro, gusting to 16. We're going to see our winds out of the northwest gusting to about 15 to 20 on through the afternoon. Of course, the storm moves away. We don't really have any impact from Erin here, but we will have a cold front that gets close to us and brings us just a small chance of showers. That's going to be around 5 o'clock or so. We could see it really at any point, but definitely looking at that potential. Our high temperatures are comfortable all the way into the weekend. Expect highs in the mid-80s.